Power, they say, intoxicates, and absolute power does much more than intoxication. The arrogance of power. The nation is in darkness as our collective greed has once again collapsed our national grid. And our energy security is severely diminished as long vehicular queues have continued unchecked at our various fuel stations due to unavailability of fuel. In an oil-producing country, you will say, and despite the price of the product not being within the reach of the everyday people, this is as prices of staple food and now the exclusive rights of the rich. I know one even talk about public infrastructure when no they exist. And the general insecurity in the country, because that one don't become our second name, even as our government officials continue in their ostentatious and extravagant lifestyle with retinue of aides, allowances, and armed policemen taking turn to guard them, their families, and their cronies. Meanwhile, in spite of these infrastructural deficits, the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission had the effrontery in June 2023 to propose a 114% increase salaries for the president. Anyway, thank God say the president refused. It only takes the arrogance of power to be that insensitive. Chief Obafemi Awolowo once said during campaign that if elected president of Nigeria, he will not travel out of Nigeria for 4 years because the challenges at that time, even though he never planned to reach this one, were very enormous. But today, despite the enormity of our insurmountable challenges, our president, Bola Tinubu, who is begging us to be patient with his administration, he don't japa, travel to London for vacation, for holiday. I beg, who goes on holiday when his house is on fire? If not for the arrogance of power. The National Assembly just came back from recess as the people that elected them are wallowing in darkness and hunger. And the labor unions are threatening to go on strike as their 70,000 naira minimum wage can no longer even give them lunch, not to talk of taking them home. Our leaders could just tell themselves, I beg, let us go on holiday, travel abroad, out of this crisis we have created in this country, Jerry. Don't worry, our people are too hungry to revolt. Imagine such arrogance of power. Someday, well, something we give. Don't say I didn't warn you people. Our governors and other government officials will be proud to travel abroad for medical holidays and post pictures for those that voted them into office to see. One of them even told me that if I work very hard, I might be able to travel to abroad for medical checkup. As if that is all there is to power. Anyway, now poverty of the mind, berry, you will say. They are so quick to boast about their medical doctors being abroad as they keep their families safe there while destroying their own country. But they forget that no matter how much they spend abroad, they are still second-class citizens over there. But if I may ask, why somebody won't be king for a home instead of repairing his own so that he can enjoy and regale in its majestic splendor, would rather choose to go for medical treatment abroad where he will be treated like a second-class citizen? If not for the arrogance of power, see how some of our kings die in these hospitals abroad. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. It's do you know who I am mentality. Even our religious leaders are not left out of as they struggle with politicians and pop stars and sport personalities on who is more flamboyant as they navigate our bad road with running around with their toy cars, Rolls Royce, now they reign now, and private jet. Even when the poor congregant, whose money they are spending recklessly, will continue to defend them. The arrogance of these leaders can even drive God crazy. And they believe that the people can never act. Anyway, even myself. After all, the president and his people have said Nigerians should be patient with them. Patience. Ibrahim Babangida introduced Structural Adjustment Program, SAP. He told Nigerians to adjust their bet and be patient. We are patient and things never return to normal. How about Sani Abacha? Sani Abacha asked Nigerians to be patient. Even after dissolving everything, remember, everything dissolved. And Nigerians were patient until he died and they saw how much the man stole while telling people to be patient. Obasanjo also requested patience, even though he said he didn't know the problems were that enormous, until he spent 16 billion buying darkness and then suddenly realized that 8 years was gone and not enough. And he needed tenure elongation to actualize his patience. We are still patient. Goodluck Jonathan even had a wife whose name was Patience and pleaded for time. But things never improved until he was insulted out of office. And those that insulted him then are in government today and doing the same thing. Muhammadu Buhari also pleaded for patience, even though he wished he was younger. until things grew from bad to worse. And today, President Tinubu is pleading for that same elusive commodity, patience, the Nigerians have given over time in abundance, but have never been compensated in return. Even when you are patient here, you will realize that the arrogance of power will never allow the rulers to see things from the perspective of the everyday people, to enable them make amends. So when leaders here tell you to be patient, that means they want to ride roughshod on you. So I will therefore advocate that until we collectively participate in every election, from local government to the State House of Assembly, governorship, National Assembly and presidency, to elect credible people who will be truly sympathetic to the cause of Nigerians and not those always asking for patience while their belly is full, until we revisit the Justice Owe's panel report again and ensure that all electoral disputes are resolved before swearing in. We will keep having rulers who will ask for endless patience until the center can no longer hold. Because as I talk to you now, things don't fall apart. Tay. Anyway, make we hang am here for today until next week, when we'll estray another critical issue in our politics. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms shown on your screen. Like, follow, and share. Maybe we might just even be talking about Wike and his Fubara, you know. Anyway, as an aside, I beg you, Nigerian immigration, this is for you. Please, when you process passport for people in our foreign embassies, when you haven't delivered the passport, don't put on your website, passport issued and collected, when you never even dispatch the passport for collection. It is completely misleading. And I hope somebody somewhere is listening to me and will correct this anomaly in your system. Thank you and see you next week.